following program is for mature audiences and contains adult situations and some nudity. Parental discretion is advised. This program will only be shown to the on-TV audience after 11 p.m. on a voluntary basis over a scrambled signal.
Hello, yes, breaking news right now outside of the KittyHiPur house. Hi, I'm Chad McAfee here on Nighthawk News, and we have a breaking news segment right here, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody. We have the hyper-sensational YouTuber KittyHiPur under scrutiny and under fire for saying Tales of the Dark Side wrong when it's actually Tapes from the Dark Side. We have KittyHiPur here on the phone in the studio. Could we patch her in, please?
Hello?
Hi, yes. So, I'm Chad McAfee. It's nice to have you here. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So, according to the reports here, it says that you said the title wrong of Tapes from the Dark Side when it's actually Tales of the Dark Side, according to this report.
Well, Chad, not to interrupt, it's actually Tapes from the Dark Side.
Mhm.
And I tried to correct that in editing. Now, it's an honest mistake to say the wrong thing, and in post-editing, I was trying to fix it the best I could. That's why I put little sounds and dings to make sure that people would see or hear it at least, because I know a podcast usually listen to it. So I try to make some sounds in order for people to see it technically or look up at the screen.
Now, not to interrupt you, Ms. Hyper, but we also have some footage as well as some reports stating that you were running from paparazzi. You ran from a couple of analog horror fans, and you felt like you were really hurting the name of analog horror. Is that correct?
No, I didn't say any of that, and there was no paparazzi. Where are you getting your information?
And you're also in now an underground bunker.
Underground bunker? I'm in my freaking room.
I see. Well, I hope you have many provisions, because underground bunkers does not have a bathroom, let me tell you. It also says here that you said rain and pedals eavesdrop. You used the wrong word. Is that correct, Miss Hyper?
What? No, I didn't. That was actually
I see. Well, thank you so much, Miss Hyper, for
Hey,
coming on
no,
tonight
this is not
on
how it
this
goes.
breaking news segment of Nighthawk News.
Dare
Hopefully
hang
your
up on me, buddy.
fans
I
will
ain't done
definitely
talking.
find their hearts to still love you and forgive you, and
Fucking
that
they
they
love
still
me
care
anyway.
for
They
you.
love us.
Anyway, this is Chad McAfee here on
It's not
Nighthawk
just me.
News. Thank
It's
you
a
so
team.
much for this breaking news segment. Now going back to your regular scheduled programming.
Everybody, welcome back to the new and improved version of The Brew. I'm Kitty, one of your many hosts on the show, and like always, I'm never alone. I'm with my wonderful and fabulous co-hosts, Sauce and Ricky. Say hello, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Thanks so much, you guys. Tonight, we have a fabulous interview with the legend, the icon, the horror analog artist, the retro aesthetic artist, Quarks&Rec. We're going to be interviewing him. You may know him better for his projects such as the Minerva Alliance, if not
Tapes from the Dark Side.
If not, maybe some of his music. Either way, we're going to check it out right now here live on The Brew. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the new and improved version of The Brew. I'm Kitty, and I am with my co-host, Ricky. Sauce is MIA due to work, but we have a special guest. I am so excited. Are you guys excited? I'm excited.
I'm excited.
All right. We have the legend, the king, Quarks&Rec. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, and how are you today?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Pretty good myself. I mean, still trying to wake up, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't complain.
Kind of
I have
relatable.
My cup of coffee. Yeah, for the context, this is actually recorded in the morning. Like the original Brew was supposed to be a morning show.
Yeah, then we realized we can't wake up that early, huh?
Well, I mean, I can because of my job, but not everybody
and
else
3
can.
gigatons of coffee.
Yeah, well, this is only my second cup. Hey, and it's in my religious holy chalice mug. It is the cup of Skeletor.
Oh, the Church of Skeletor. Yeah.
Yes. Everybody come to my sermons. They're very nice.
Oh my gosh.
We do. We have some questions. So, like, I guess the best way to first open this: how did you get into analog horror as a whole?
So basically, my entry into this genre kind of started off just watching like found footage horror like before like 2017. So movies like Blair Witch Project, the VHS anthology series, Grave Encounters, and movies kind of like that. They all have like this kind of consumer grade like camera like production style, and analog horror kind of sort of like did something like that, but also with like just pre-recorded like television like broadcasts and like cassette stuff. So it's kind of a nice continuation of that sort of like genre to me.
Ooh,
Oh.
Nice. That's interesting. I thought it'd be like, kind of like, well, my impression that maybe you were a kid of like between the 80s into the 2000s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was born in '94, so I did grow up with a little bit of a VHS. Just a little bit. There was only like a very small part of like my life, but I have used like VHS to like watch like movies and stuff when I was like a little kid, so a little bit of nostalgia factor there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who grew up in the 90s, I guess that's why a lot of like older generation, or like the millennials and older generation, whoever was born between, you know, the 80s into the 2000s, really kind of get hooked into it. And even if you had like, well, if you're like me, who had baby boomer parents, you got experience with some 70s and 60s and 50s and things like that as well.
Right.
So especially if you think about like big giants in the analog horror community, like Local 58, or Local 58, I almost said 68, that used a lot of 60s film, which was really interesting. But no, that's really cool. What inspired you to start your series or your stories? Like where you get your ideas from? Because they're really cool. Like the Minerva Alliance, that was freaking dope.
Yeah, I fucking love Minerva.
I love that one.
Tales from the Dark Side too.
Yeah, well, my ideas. So I started off, I guess, inspired doing stuff from 8 and Chicks series. So specifically, Analog Archives, from back when that was going. I like this sort of like anthology idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like each video is like its own like self-contained idea. Because I always have like a little bit more of a challenge of creating like multiple videos with like one continuous like through story, and then so I like to explore like kind of like micro ideas and like individual videos and stuff like that. And a lot of the ideas, especially is like for some of the Minerva stuff, comes from like my own like personal like life stuff, and just like especially the Tommy Parsons audio tapes. That was inspired from my own backpacking trips on the Appalachian Trail. And that's basically, if you've ever been on it, there's parts of it where you're basically miles away from like the nearest like town or whatever. So if something bad happens out there, you're basically on your own. So that's pretty kind of a scary thing I wanted to like bring into like one of these videos and let other people kind of experience what that might have been like, even though it has like some supernatural twists and stuff in there, obviously, but kind of help accentuate kind of the idea of what would happen if you're like alone and something bad happened in the middle of the woods.
Ugh, it's freaking what's that movie, Blair Witch kind of vibes.
Yeah, that one was basically like a direct inspiration from Blair Witch as well.
That shit's creepy.
Yeah, I haven't seen the actual movie, I'll be perfectly honest, but I've seen the Scooby-Doo Cartoon Network version. I know that sounds dumb, but it was really
like Fred, were you lost in the woods?
That was also like for the time, like it was kind of like almost like unprecedented like for popularity at that level, because there was this whole like marketing campaign where they actually put like fake missing posters for all of like the actors in it.
Oh wow!
And they basically like hyped it up as if it were like an actual like thing that happened. So it was a very even though like found footage has been done before Blair Witch, that was like the movie that made it like popular.
I did not know that.
modern
That's
culture.
That's
freaking
cool.
awesome. Yeah, it's like guerrilla
That-
advertising or some shit.
Basically, like early like ARG type stuff.
Yeah.
Almost.
I love it when creators like try to make it real as possible. Like I remember crossing through the Mandela Effect YouTube channel and written questions, but I guess in this case this is kind of off the cuff, if you will, so pardon me if this seems unprofessional.
So unprofessional.
Well, I'm wondering, will you ever go to that level of immersion?
That was basically kind of what I was trying to do with Minerva. Like a while, just kind of like there's this like underground organization that like is like there's stuff like in our universe that's not explainable and your government's hiding it.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
we're just gonna lay it out like on the line right here and just like this is what's going on under your like nose basically. That was like the project for me. That was kind of like the immersion like ARG unfiction type something, and then Tapes from the Dark Side's kind of like a more traditional like episodic thing.
I guess two more that are off the cuff, and then I'm gonna go back to the script that I wrote down. So sorry, Ricky.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'll forgive you.
Because like because these are coming off, and I wish I wrote them down, but I didn't at the time because when I got home, I just got off of work and I just got off from the gym, so I was like trying to make sure I had everything down that I wanted to ask you. But the two questions are you going to ever hire any actors like for your filming, like go into your like
that's a
real
good
world
one.
and just be like, hey, I want to do more immersion in the sense of you dress like you're from like from the 90s or the late 2000s and it looks like found footage, and you go to like actual like I don't know, like apartments that haven't really updated or homes or something like that, just to make sure it seems so real that people can't distinguish it.
Oh yeah, that's something I would absolutely do if I ever like did any like live action like segments, like because I am like I've said before, I'm definitely like a very like detail oriented individual. So like even just small things like that are definitely like high on my like priority list to like make sure like I sell like the work as best as I can, like because if you have like everything else in place, but like the clothing the actor actress is wearing is from like the 2010s or something, it's not gonna look as good.
Yeah.
Versus definitely it's definitely something I would be paying attention to if I ever did live action for my stuff.
I hope you do. I really hope you do. I would kill to see that.
Kitty just wants to be involved in it now. Come on.
Shush. I am
please.
a starving actor. Shut up.
I'm hyper sensational, don't you know?
Oh my God, you are not doing that now. No, but I'm serious because like it seems like with your content, it really, like you said, the found footage stuff. So I wouldn't be shocked because other analog horrors, like there was this one that I remember some dude was wearing like a ghost sheet over his head. I don't remember what the series was. I know I've watched it with Gonzo and friends, but this guy was like running around with like a ghost sheet over his head, and it just
I think I know the one you're talking about. I forget the name. Is that the Obsidian?
I don't know what it is, but it
something?
made me think of like, would you ever pursue live actors and actresses for your creations? And this is the second question, and then I'm gonna have Ricky ask some questions because I've been like talking all this time, and I want to give him some mic time.
Yeah, thanks.
Shut up. Would you like end up incorporating sort of computer elements? Now, let me describe it to you in the sense of like you find there are these people in the past who are like big social media people that will do these like cryptic things where they have a paste link and then it's like a binary code and then it's like this code and you have to break that code, and it's sort of like a scavenger hunt into one thing and the other. Would you kind of go through with that for your creations, like as if it's sort of interactive?
If it made sense to do that, I would like unfortunately a lot of like these like newer like series like try to like do stuff like that just for the sake of doing it. Like it doesn't make logical sense as to why there would be like paste bins and like stuff like that. So like if I ever did like I actually almost thought of doing this for Minerva at one point. It's kind of like have like a little bit of like an interactive side story there, but it just never came to fruition for whatever reason. But yeah, if I did do like something like that, like going forward, it for one probably wouldn't be like with Tapes from the Darkside, because that's just, like I said, it's a more traditional like episodic series. But like if it, for any like future things, I'm definitely like open to doing that, like, and presenting it like in a logical like manner, like it makes sense for why that's happening, since I think like that sort of like logic kind of helps like everything make more sense and more natural, than just throwing in links for no like, apparent reason. So
I like that. Ricky, I'm gonna pass over the mic to you because you haven't really had a chance to talk.
I've just been so interested. I'm sorry.
I know. I just don't want you to feel like you're excluded from the combo.
Listen, I'm good.
Oral.
But what I'd like to know is like, is there anything from your childhood that like that stuck with you that maybe inspired something that you put into your analog horror? You know, like, oh, I saw this old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, I thought that was cool, so I made a fucked up version of it, you know, like anything like that.
Right. So I do remember, I guess like there's a part of like a VHS, like it's like a kid's cartoon, I forget like which one it was, but I guess I had apparently I guess rewound it so many times it like deformed the tape or whatever in that part. So like it acted like really glitch, like weird for like, I remember that like being impressed like upon me for like a while. And then and also like I guess like in the early like there's like when the tape stuff, like it just cuts to like static or whatever, and that some like loud burst like is like really scary. I think that's like why a lot of like people who grew up there like kind of like they like rush over to like the VCR or whatever, like pause or stop the tape before, like the static
noise or
it's like really loud too, like especially if you were watching like something that was like quiet.
Oh yeah,
like relative.
Yeah, you'd have to trim the volume real loud just to hear the tape, and then, you know, by the time it hits that, you're just like, oh god.
It's like you're just scrambling to the TV to turn it off. Yeah, I think that's kind of a thing that's been ingrained to like a lot of us '90s kids.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, is there any other things that you create, like, you know, in Photoshop or any kind of music, stuff like that?
I like just like inspiration wise, or
no, like other projects besides like analog horror. Like, is there anything else you work on?
Yeah. So yeah, I do have like 2 music projects. One of them is like a vaporwave signal wave thing called Ethereal Media. Like a lot of that's like kind of just inspired from like kind of the imagery, like you'd see it like on these like on VHS, and like also like these VHS like uploads on like YouTube that have like that showcase like old like programming, like commercials and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So that was a huge. Yeah, and there's like neon grid stuff. And then the neon grid stuff is especially influential on my other project, Zeitgeist 1985, which is a synthwave outrun project. So yeah, I try to emulate a lot of like when there's like old like 80s like movie posters kind of look like it, that airbrush like look, and the chrome, and it looked like a little like. But also just like something like Indiana Jones movie posters from like that time. It kind of has like that oil paint look of airbrush. Yeah, but yeah, definitely like the neon grid like stuff is also like a big part of that as well. So I definitely look at a lot of like these old like media for inspiration, like on how to like recreate the aesthetics of it and like what kind of ideas as well. So
wow, that's such a mood.
Yeah, especially with some of the stuff I do. I feel that, you know, going back and seeing what people did before us to kind of take inspiration.
Yeah, because you work on music, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so does he. In fact, I've heard some of your musical stuff lately. I know I asked as if I didn't know about it, but I did know you made, you know, some not vaporwave, more like synthwave style music. It's very good stuff. You guys haven't heard it, you should check it out.
Yeah, I've got the first extended play for it. I'm hoping to have out by this summer. Like I only have like one other. I technically have all 5 tracks, but I kind of want to redo one of them just because I don't really like how it goes.
That's a mood.
Yeah. Hopefully this summer that'll see a release. So
shoot, man, I'm looking forward to it. Well, one thing I've always wanted to know, it's like, where'd you get the names Quarks and Rec? Like,
So that was a name. So a little bit of a history here. So like when I came up with that name, it was original. My channel was originally supposed to be like kind of like a hybrid gaming and like science education channel. And I thought I used to watch the show Parks and Recreation, right?
Yeah.
Because I came up with the idea of like kind of like a pun off of that, like quarks, like for the science, and then recreation for like the like fun aspect. And so at the time I thought, Quarks and Rec is kind of a nice name. I'll just roll with that, and then that obviously kind of fell through. So I kept the name just because I like the pun. And it kind of like combines like a lot of things like in my life, like me as like a electrical, I guess a physicist, electrical engineer like background, and like me just like having to have fun. So
Whoa, I didn't know.
Yeah, I did not know that either.
Yeah, I'm currently a grad student, so in electrical engineering.
That's awesome.
You know that this is not on script, but I have to ask: does that help you with like your creation of your content? Like, does that give you like ways of like, oh well, if I need to film this and that? Because like I don't know if you actually go out and film things, but like, do you like I don't know create like certain scenery by using this knowledge that you got from schooling?
Yeah, definitely. Like in me recreating like the aesthetics of the stuff that I do, like, it's been very helpful because like I do a little bit of signal processing work, so that kind of helps me like understand like what the kind of like technical specifications of like the early VHS systems were. That's kind of helped me like kind of like fine tune and get to like where I want to, like in terms of like audio and like visual aesthetics for kind of the various things I do. So
do you like go into the VCR and like diagnose it? Like I'm not sure how you do it. I just try to eyeball it.
I mean, currently I do as well. Because my folks actually have like an old VCR unit like in their house. Like I want to like eventually like move out of the apartment I'm in right now. Like grab a hold of and kind of like do like tape transfers. Because that's like the most authentic you can probably get, like just doing a direct tape transfer. But currently I don't have the space for that, so I have to like do a lot of the recreations digitally and like Photoshop and Premiere Pro and whatnot.
So you have an actual like tape to digital system, or you just haven't bought it yet, or?
I have like the visa. I have to go by and get like the converter cables and stuff like that. But yeah, eventually that's something I do want to do more of, is just like tape transfer stuff, like because I think that's the most authentic you can get with this stuff.
Right. So I'm understanding is that you're going to be filming it on like an old camcorder, and then you're going to throw it into the computer.
Right. Or just have like the video file like on my computer, and then just like do all that the transfer stuff. Obviously, I have to research some more of the details of that.
That's
I have the equipment for it.
Because like I know that it's really hard because we have a home movies in my family, a couple of them. There's like this one big reel from like the early 90s, late 80s of, I think it was late 90s or mid 90s.
A reel?
Or like, oh, well, okay. So my family took some reels of them when they were younger, like back in the 50s and the 60s, when they go to like Hiawatha and they went down to like, all these other places. And we had it on a big giant, well, it was not a big giant, but it seemed giant to me because I was really small. Right. But we had them on a giant VHS tape, and we put that in, and it was like family memories. And it was my granny and my grandpa's, I think, 40th anniversary that my mom and my uncle put together.
Oh, wow.
So you can understand where my influences come from. But no, that's why I asked, because it's like, because transferring that even into a DVD, it's very complicated from what I could see.
Yeah, there's like a number of like I get that like these like composite cables, and
right.
I guess you need like composite to HDMI. I guess for more modern stuff. But yeah, it's from what I've heard, it can be a little bit tricky, but it's something I'm willing to like do like research on and make sure like I'm doing correctly. So
are you self-taught when it comes to your music and your your video editing, and you do Photoshop. I feel like you mentioned to me on some level you've done Photoshop in the past.
Yeah, I've done it quite a bit for basically like everything I do. I use it for like, I guess, setting up like the things you see in the like analog horror stuff, and I also like use that to make like the album art for like both my music projects.
Do you use like LUTs and stuff like that?
Occasionally, if it enhances like the look, like I said, I often have like a reference like image when I'm working on something, so like I kind of like, it helps me, it helps guide like kind of like what I need to do. There's not like one consistent like prescribed like procedure like I follow. Like okay, that's not exactly true. There's like, depending on which you know, I guess like whatever thing I'm working on, there may be like a certain like initial set of steps, but then like to do like the specific look that I want, like I may like consult like a reference image to kind of help complete that.
Right.
So when it gets towards the end, the steps can vary a little bit, depending.
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that.
If I may,
Of course.
I want to know your opinion on what makes a good analog horror in your eyes. Like, what do you look for, like, in like in an enjoyable video?
So obviously the visual elements, the visual and audio elements, important because it's immersion. Steps there. I can't like immerse myself, and then the whole thing is becomes difficult to engage it. But then also just like some original like concept or premise is very helpful. Like I see, like especially recently, like with the success of like the Backrooms found footage.
I've been looking into that today,
I see
actually.
like so many like clones of like Kane Pixels and stuff, and it's like, okay, that's nice and all, but like I want to see like something, I guess, other than this, like the same like yellow hazmat guy in all of these. Right?
Yeah, I was like, what is up with him? Like, what?
Like, what? They're just trying to like emulate like what's been successful in the past, like
kind of like an SCP kind of vibe too.
Oh, yeah, maybe, yeah. Kane Pixels' version of the Backrooms kind of has the async like research, and it's kind of like SCP, but like not really. Like they just basically have done research that basically opened gateways to the Backrooms and whatnot, and we see those guys recycled in a lot of these like clone videos. So yeah, having like some original twist on the thing they're doing is very helpful for me as well. Just because it makes me feel like you're doing this right for the art, not just for the popularity, which is what I feel a lot of these clone like series try to do.
I agree. That's a lot of what took me out of some of the ones Gonzo showed us. I know people might be like, oh, you guys are riffing on them. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to criticize the art too much, because I get it. Sometimes it's just one guy doing it. I get that. But if you can't, if you're using Coca-Cola commercials every 2 seconds, and I don't know, it just looks like he threw it together, you're trying to jump on that trendy train, and I'd rather them take like a month or two to work on it a bit more and really immerse me.
Yeah.
Listen, I've only remixed a couple of commercials of quite a bit of time in my life, okay?
There was one we watched that was so like rough that we didn't even air it. It was a lot of reuse, like Disney Afternoon commercials and shit, and like 2 seconds of an emergency broadcast, and that was the whole video.
Was it the one with the Arthur guy?
I don't remember. Yeah, I think Arthur was in it. It was so weird.
Did that? I mean, it seemed kind of legit. And I guess it's here to say, it's like, we don't riff on people to be assholes. Like, it's a great example, the Mandela effect, or not the Mandela effect, the Mandela catalog effect. God, I'm so.
But that guy actually took our criticism, not just ours. We're not like gods or anything, but he took criticism and made it better. Like, that's awesome. I love that.
And I know that we kind of laugh, but it was like, I understand that was this like rough thing, and I get it. Like, if you're really proud of it, but sometimes there are these, like, I've come across analog horrors, like, what do you think of this one? Like, there was this one that was really, really rough. Like, they didn't really, I understand they had what they were working with, but at the same time, It was like really sloppy. Like, and I'm coming at it from like editing, and I'm not like, you know, an editing guru. I'm just saying, as somebody who really likes to make edits and likes to make things look authentic as they could, from an analytic perspective, or not an analytic, or a technical perspective, it seemed very sloppy. It was very sloppy. It was very hastily put together. It was one of them. I don't remember which one, but it was really bad.
I think it's kind of glad we don't know. I don't want to call anyone out.
No, I can't remember the name of it, and I'm glad I don't. Again, we're not hating on anybody. I just want to preference by saying that. From editor technical standpoint, and I don't have the best edits either. Sometimes they're like really shitty. When it comes to like, you know, some things, I guess people, I don't know. I've noticed with analog horror, people have a high standard when it comes to it. What do you think about that, being somebody who is in the forefront and work with like amazing people? Like, that's something I'm curious about.
So the sort of question, I guess, is about like, just repeat again, just to make sure I understood.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
the question.
I guess like why? Because like I've noticed in the analog horror community, especially like when it comes to people reacting to like certain things, and is there a standard? Is there a standard that you, or a threshold that you think that people have to be hitting or something? Because like, especially like, I'm going to use the Mandala catalog as an example. Like, people seem to have very like, very not poignant, but I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it seems not critical. It's not even that. It's like they have a very precise like view of what things should be. I don't know. Like, do you think there is like a standard that people have to hit when it comes to creating analog horror?
Oh, all right. Okay, I understand. Yeah, that's like a quality standard, right?
Yeah. I guess that's what the word I'm looking for is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for me personally, like, I know like not like everyone has access to like very like high end like editing software.
Yes.
So I'm not really really like kind of like strict about like that like myself. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, just an original like story and premise, I think will take you like a long way. I think. Obviously, the more like authentic, like VHS, like it looks like, obviously that's bonus points as well, but I think at the end of the day, just like an original like, interesting like story and premise, I think is really the only like standard like air quotes that I have for anything. So
interesting. No, that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know. I just always like figure like, I wonder what like somebody who has and I'm gonna say it like this, so please don't take it in the way I'm gonna say it. Analog success or success in that area or that niche genre. I was always curious about like, what are your thoughts about that? You know, or what are your viewpoints out? Ricky, did you want to take it from here?
Yes. Sorry, my little ferret knocked over her entire ball pit. I was make sure she was okay.
He's a ferret dad.
I am. I have a little girl running around. We already asked that one here. So, will you? I mean, we might have already worded this earlier, but like, is there any other projects besides music and analog horror that like you're like, maybe I should take that on?
So currently at the moment, I'm kind of happy with projects I have right now. I do like have like a kind of like a quasi art like project with like vaporwave and synthwave like things. So basically, like the album covers that I make for both my music projects is kind of like just like an art outlet as well. So kind of like.
Did you make your icon?
Yeah.
That's honestly, I thought you like took that from a magazine or something. That looks very authentic.
Yeah, I did. I looked up a lot of like company logos in like the 80s or whatever, kind of like see what they kind of like looked like, and you see like a lot of the like ones that have like the full like and then you have like the lines, like
yes.
like the lines that kind of like I guess I don't
the
have
crease
the right
lines or something.
Yeah, it kind of like a Sega font, whatever, like.
Oh yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know what the descriptor word would be.
Oh
yeah, that's what I'm lacking right now.
Give me a minute, I could find it, but I know what you're talking about. The Sega logo font.
Like I don't want to call it stripes because it's not necessarily like straight lines all the time. but something like that.
I love how you make your logo so authentic because it's like super hard to reproduce. I struggle with it a lot, especially with like the metal, like making like the metal shine and making it look like, and I'm not saying that like following tutorials is a bad thing, but it's like, I like discovering my techniques on my own. I know that sounds so stubborn, but I just like to do it. Like, it's just, but it's really hard.
I do like a combination of like tutorials and the kind of just experimentation on my own, because the basis for the logo that my profile picture here is like it started off like as like a Photoshop tutorial, and I did some of my own personal twists from there to get the kind of look that I want here. So
that's cool. Did you want to take this one, Ricky?
Yeah, sure. What do you think people like about analog horror? Like what draws them in,
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because like for people like me who grew up like in the 90s or whatever, like it's obviously just reminiscent of like childhood, like movies and things like that. But you also observe like a lot of these like modern like teenagers nowadays also interested as well, despite like having spent almost all their lives with like digital television.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like it's a really interesting situation to kind of like think about, because I don't have a concrete answer like for why like people as young as like 15 or whatever would be drawn to.
I think kids in general.
I guess it could just be like a it's kind of like how like an evolution of creepypastas or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I never thought.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, even as like a kid, I don't know, like 15, 14, I loved horror. I was looking it up all the time, like I just, because it was such an adult thing, it's like, oh, I shouldn't be watching this because it's too scary. I want to watch it even more, So maybe that's the draw of it too for the younger generation.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well.
But like when I watched your stuff, it really just felt like, I don't know, it's like 4 a.m. I should be sleeping. I have something to do tomorrow, but I can't sleep. I turn on the TV and there's this weird shit on. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? The world's ending.
It's basically like what I liked about Local 58 a lot, like because that was the first series I watched. I even like found it back before it even like was popular. Actually, like it was back before it was being covered by a lot of YouTubers. Yeah, it was on October of 2017 when I first watched it, and it definitely had that like feeling of like I'm up late at night and I see something I'm not supposed to be looking at type of feeling, which is kind of cool.
Also kind of the hacked broadcast vibe. I feel like it's very like alluring too. But speaking of you watching Local 58 and stuff like that, like is there any like favorite analog creators that you have?
So I'm a big fan of Aiden Chick's stuff, Analog Archives first, and then I think before Midwest Angelica, which is my current favorite. Eventide Media Centers was my favorite before he ended up canceling it. I guess earlier this year. I just really like the idea of like this library just has a weird collection of like videos from like the entire state of Massachusetts. It's kind of like a really weird like enigmatic like. Well, one, why does this library exist? Because if you see like some of the pictures on the Eventide Twitter, like you see there's like the building itself isn't actually normal either.
Oh yeah.
It has like it has the eyeball on the building or whatever.
Yeah, it's like very unsettling.
Yeah, it's like one, why does this library even exist? And two, like how are all these videos from all these places in it? Like, and the whole thing was just kind of like a really like intriguing to me, an intriguing concept to me. So,
is there any like tips, maybe some tricks that newer, upcoming, maybe smaller YouTubers who want to make horror or analog based content, like any advice you give to them?
The biggest piece of advice I can give is honestly just do your research, do your homework on like kind of just watch like actual footage from like that time, the time period you want to, I guess, recreate, since like to really like I guess sell the authenticity. Like it really helps to like know like what like footage from that time actually like looked like. And so like I guess that's sort of my biggest piece of advice is just do your homework, do the research like on like what it actually like looks like, and I think that'll help sell your story, like your story's like authenticity and everything and whatnot much better than if you try to just like go off of memory.
Yeah,
no, definitely.
like an art, you always want to have a reference. I get that.
Right, absolutely.
If you don't mind, this is not on our script, but I have this one question, if you don't mind, Ricky.
I'm grinding my teeth. No kidding. Go ahead.
Grinding my teeth. When I guess with story, and it's not just the visuals. Like I'm also talking about like the script, the story. When does an analog horror get too cliche?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's an interesting question because there's a number of them have cropped up like in recent times. I think EASs have been overused a lot. And my personal, if you're going to be doing something, it should be like a unique, like an interesting like twist on that. I think another one is broadcast hijacks. Like those were like rampant and early.
Yes.
Like, analog horror, like even like Channel 7, which is like Aiden's like first, had like a lot of those kind of hijack situations. So I think that definitely helped drive that into the ground like a lot. And I think like with the Mandela catalog, like recent like popularity, like what we call it, like Photoshop liquefy faces.
Yeah, that
like,
the one with
faces
Germa.
with the Photoshop liquefy tool.
Yeah.
Like I've been seeing a lot of those as well since like Mandela became popular as well. So
When
like I said, I don't think cliches are inherent bad. You just need to do something interesting and original with them.
For sure.
Right. And this is going to be off the cuff because I, as you were telling me about the hijack broadcasting, was that inspired by the Max Headroom hijack back in the 80s?
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Oh my God, get out of my head.
I was like,
I'm sure.
Oh my God.
I'm sure that's been a big inspiration as well, because that case has still not been solved to this day. Like no one knows like.
I do too.
and then there's like another like Captain Midnight.
I was about to bring that up. I was about to say it's known, but it's lesser known in the sense, unless if you really study.
I don't think I've heard of Captain Midnight, I'll be honest.
And that one was basically a disgruntled HBO employee, basically like moved like the satellite dish or whatever to like somewhere it wasn't supposed to, and basically like broadcast his own like message.
Yeah,
which was actually really scary because like it was only like the orientation of like the satellite or whatever was only like a small like rotation away from like a US Navy satellite. and this was still during the Cold War, mind you.
Yeah.
So I think that has some very scary implications if he had just moved it just a little bit off. But thankfully that did not happen, so.
Yeah, it'll be up on screen when I'm in editing mode, but I just put that in the chat for you for context, Ricky.
Thank you.
But yeah,
and then there's another, like I guess in England, like they call it the Southern Television. And it was basically like this. The hijacker was reported to be like this like alien from Aquarius or whatever. Like,
oh, was it the one where like
the Ashtar Galactic Command?
Oh, yep, I've heard about this.
So that was another one that I think a lot of people probably may have been inspired by as well. So
yeah, aliens coming and using.
Yeah, there's like a number of like recreations of it. I don't think there's been like original footage has ever been found. There's been like a recreation of it on YouTube though. So
that's interesting. That's really interesting. I did not know it was non-found footage. That's really cool.
I guess before we like jump into the questions that we received, like the final one here is, what is your favorite thing about being a horror creator? You know,
I think it's just being able to like celebrate like I guess like an era that I feel like was very like optimistic since it was after like the Cold War, but before like 9/11. So like that period of time, it seemed like unbounded optimism for the future, I think. And I think that, and plus it was a much simpler like time. You didn't have to worry about like keeping up with social media and all these other things like that. And like just life was just a lot simpler. And I think I want to like commemorate like that, even if it's in a spooky manner sometimes.
No, I definitely get that. Like some days I'm just like, I miss sitting in front of a TV. I miss like news being news. You know what I mean? Not being political, just in general. You know?
Right.
So, alrighty. We do have a question from somebody. We have a question from Miles Gonzo. I reached out in the past couple of days from people and on our Twitter and our SpeakPipe and whatnot that if they had any questions, but we do have one question from Gonzo from the Discord, and essentially it is Gonzo asks, Mindless Gonzo says, what is the best settings for authentic tape feel that he replicates in your projects?
So yeah, there's a lot of moving components and like the specific aesthetic recreation. So I guess the biggest part of that is working in the correct color space. Since I see a lot of like analog horror stuff that do like the RGB like color split, like I guess for that like VHS look, and that's not like actually accurate. It is accurate for like CRT aesthetics, but for VHS, it's actually like what we call like chrominance and luminance. That's basically like the color and brightness, respectively.
Oh.
So the idea, I guess to work with that is like the way the composite signals recorded on there is, and that the chrominance is basically more susceptible to like electromagnetic noise from like the actually VCR itself, and so that's why you see a lot of the color information being like more blurry and like spread out and faded. And sometimes off center depending since like sometimes when the VCR like records like it may not necessarily record the color and brightness in sync with each other. So that's sometimes you see like the color like information like lag behind or like be shifted in one direction or another. So that's so getting that down is kind of the biggest like part of the aesthetic. And then like I mentioned earlier, for some of the audio stuff, I actually went up and looked up like the VHS like frequency response of like the VHS like tape, and basically like filter it accordingly so it matches like what the actual like for the era of like what the audio properties of that were like. And so it's kind of another big thing in that as well. So there's a lot of it's a simple question but like a very long and winded answer too. So
no, you're
I'm kind of just touching up on the basic like the big like elements that go into that.
Don't mind me, I was writing that down as an editor. I'm not kidding you. That's why I ended up like opening up a page. If you heard me, I wrote down chromis and luminous, and I was trying to capture it. I can listen to it again, but I just had a quick question. Are these presets in Premiere Pro?
So the ones I use nowadays are kind of just a combination of like stock Premiere Pro effects. There are a few like other ones that are kind of like third party from Red Giant, and the only ones I really use from like Red Giant is like the like camera shake, like so it creates like that like instability, like kind of like the like footage kind of like moving around slightly. That was in a third party effect. You can recreate it in like default Premiere Pro, but you have to like keyframe like a lot of that, and it can get very tedious and annoying. Really so
help. Yeah, so sorry about that. I just really I really want to write that as somebody who loves to edit. Like if you ask Ricky here, he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm editing. He's like,
always editing.
Will you stop? He's
always
very
editing.
worried. Like what I feel like sometimes he's like, this woman has a fucking problem.
Yeah, worried you're gonna give yourself burnout, girl.
He messaged me like yesterday. He's like, girl, if you don't stop, you're gonna get burnt out, and then you're gonna be on your period.
Yeah, I said this is fine and dandy until like 2 weeks from now when you're on your period. Then you're gonna be like, I have so much shit to do, and I'm like, well, calm down. You're good.
It's like give this bitch chocolate and shut her up.
I didn't say that, but you know,
No,
if you need chocolate, I can get you some.
Okay, get me some peanut butter, Reese's peanut butter cups. I'm a slut for that.
But jokes aside, I gotta say, Quarks, like it is crazy to meet someone involved with the analog horror like genre that knows all their shit, that knows all these technical things, because you know, like we said earlier, the cliches and stuff, it's always like, oh, emergency broadcast interrupted, I don't know, Top Cat, there's a monster running loose, cuts back to Top Cat, changes to a creepy face going, and then it cuts back to another video footage, and I'm like, all right, but like you and all these other phenomenal creators just like know what they're doing and making something that really hasn't been done with it, and I do appreciate that.
You know what you're doing. You are an artist. You get it.
Thank you. Yeah.
But it's an honor to like be able to like talk with you here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just a hard road of research and trial and error just got me to this point. So
yeah,
I encourage for everyone else here, just try it, and if it looks great, awesome, then fine tune it as you go along. You know.
Yeah.
Do we have anything on the answer machine, Ricky, or no? Because I checked our email.
Let me open up the answer machine app here.
Yeah. So we have an answer machine for if you don't know, and we have people who watch us, if they don't want to tweet at us or write a long-winded email and they don't have time, they can just say, oh, hi, I am Bob. That's just my question. What? I'm just saying.
Hi, I am Bob. I have a question.
Hi.
That reminds me of some of the stuff like a Bob and Tom show. Like they have these people who call in or whatever, and it's like these like sometimes they have these like obviously like joke, goofy, comedic questions. Is kind of what it reminds me of.
Well, we do not have any, unfortunately. But if anyone watching this wants to leave one for the future, it is speakpipe.com/thebrew.
Yep.
And that's how you ask us a audible question.
And it'll be played on the show. Of course, we do filter out things that are profanities and whatnot. Well, not profanities, but like inappropriate messages, like common sense stuff.
Yeah, no gamer words and all this other stuff. Come on now.
Yeah. But I guess that's the best way to end the interview. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. And we are so happy that actually we're blessed and honored, to be perfectly honest. Like, I was so excited. I was like, I want him. And Ricky's like, I said, we should interview him. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay.
I was like, yeah, let's do it, you know?
And, you know, I think it was perfect. I had fun. I don't know if did you have fun?
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed the opportunity to be on here and talk to y'all. So,
well, we hope that you grow and you prosper and you get that 1 million YouTube subscriber button. And I look forward to seeing one of your films in the movies.
I hope Markiplier reacts to one of yours.
Oh, that would be dope. Markiplier, Marky Moo Senpai, do it.
Get this man 1 million subs. Come on.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Brew. If you'd like to stay in contact with us, reach out to us on our Twitter and follow for all the latest and greatest updates at mm_thebrew at twitter.com. If you want to send us a long-winded email, which Twitter will not let you send long-winded messages or edit, fix that, Twitter.
I think you can pay to edit now, but only like once.
I'm not paying to edit that. No, I got bills to pay. I got food. I got a gym membership. No, hell no. Shut up, Ricky. I know you're looking at me. You can email us at mmthebrew@gmail.com. That's mmthebrew@gmail.com. And of course, our answer machine is always open for a phone call. So that would be, what was it again, Ricky? Because I'm brain farting.
Speakpipe.com/thebrew. Speakpipe.com/thebrew.
You can leave a minute message. I believe that's the time span that you can. And we look forward to seeing you next time here on our show. Thank you, Quarks&Rec, for joining us. We appreciate you opening up and learning about all the magic behind analog horror, at least in your realm and perspective. If you want to follow Quarks&Rec, all of the links are down below and they are in the pinned comment. I really highly want you guys to check him out. He is great. We have everything from Ethereal Media, YouTube, the Dark Side tape series. We also have the music. Zidjest is how to pronounce it?
Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist
Zidjest.
1985. Sorry, shush. And then shut up. And then he also has Twitter's to said correspondent with YouTube channel. So go follow, like, subscribe, fave. Say I'm your biggest fan. Buy the merch. Are you coming out with a merch?
You have merch?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's something I thought about. Yeah, it's something
I would totally buy a t-shirt.
Do it. Like Local 58 has like the 90s sweater. I'm a sucker for crew neck sweaters. Make a sweater.
We'll see what we can do for you.
All right, guys.
I'm excited now.
Merch gang, where you at? All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wow, analog horror is such a wonderful, mind hypnotic, crazy experience that you get to experience at your own home. It's just so amazing also to get behind the mind of the director, to see their vision, their artistic vision, and to see where they're going. We were so honored to have you on the show. Thank you so much, Quarks&Rec, for coming on. If you want to stay up to date with Quarks&Rec and any of his projects, check out all the links below. You have Tales from the Dark Side, both on YouTube and also his Twitter, Tapes from the Dark Side. If you also want to check out his music, Zeitgeist 1985, both on YouTube, Twitter, SoundCloud, and Bandcamp. If you also want to check out the other YouTube side project, Ethereal Media, check it out on YouTube and Twitter.com. All links are down below. Anyway, coming up next, we are going to be watching Tales from the Dark Side. But first, break. Coming up next, we are going to be watching.
Hell I walk into?
Below. Anyway, coming up next, we are going to be watching Tales from the Dark Side. But first, a commercial break.
Yes! Hey, watch out, girl. Oh! The fuck? Damn crunch throw my... You fucking bitch!
Yeah!
Never mind. I'll let you know. I won.
Excuse me, I ordered fish.
That is fish.
Oh?
I think.
Why order fish when it ends up looking like a burger?
Hey, Fred. Is this fish?
Bro, that looks sad.
Introducing new seafood salad from Taco
That
Bell.
salad actually looks
Fresh
really good.
vegetables, tender bay
Can
shrimp,
we petition
and
to
a
have
delicious
Taco
blend of
bring
white
back
fish and
the
snow
shrimp?
crab. A refreshing change from
Where's the
anything
crab?
on a bun.
If it's square, it's fish. If it's round, it's a burger.
New seafood salad from Taco Bell. The cure for the common meal.
Okay, then.
Hey, you're cool, right? I know you are. So you're gonna check out stankfox.bandcamp.com, camp.com.bandcamp.com. You're gonna check out stankfox.bandcamp.com for all the coolest music. Some of it's even free. Well, a lot of it actually. I'm about to drop a new album here soon, so you better check it out.
Hey gang, thanks for sticking around. If you really want to hit us up, try our Twitter, mm_the_brew. We love seeing the memes, the posts, the feedback, and just interacting with you guys in general. Check us out right now here on Twitter. Now, I wonder if this will fit me. Will this look good on a show? I'm not too sure. Oh, maybe these pants. No, they're not the same. Oh, hi guys! I'm organizing my clothes while you guys were gone. Sorry, I tend to do a little weird things while you guys are away. Anyway, we're back and we're going to be reacting to Tales from the Dark Side right here on The Brew. I just want to preface before we get into it is that this is a react. If you're not a fan of reacts and people's commentary over things, we definitely recommend you supporting the original creator and checking out their content by going to the YouTube channel at Tales from the Dark Side at youtube.com. Subscribe, put the bell and notifications on, and support them. Anyway, grab your blanket, grab your honey, grab your popcorn, and get ready for a spine-tingling anthology time here on The Brew. Check it out right now.
Okay, are we all ready to watch some creepy footages?
Creepy tapes.
Creepy tales.
This is from our guest on this episode, Quarks&Rec. That is Tapes from the Dark Side, the cure for everything. Now, have any of you had any experience in analog horror? I know Kitty has. What about you, Sauce?
Not really. I just know it gets kind of a bad rap.
That is very true. Well,
but I've heard good things.
Let's check this out and see if see how it holds up. I already know it's gonna be great because it's Quarks, but you know, I'm trying not to be biased, you know.
Have anxiety and the stresses of life become too much to handle? Have depressed moods stopped you from getting what you want out of life? Have pain and discomfort prevented you from doing the things you want to do? Fortunately, there's a new medication now available to help you live the life you want to live. It's called Panazor. Panazor is a multi-purpose medication designed to help treat a variety of common mental afflictions and disorders. Its unique formula helps alleviate stress and anxiety,
I might need this.
mood and general well-being, and alleviates pain and discomfort more
I feel like I watched this on
effectively
Gonzo's
in less time
channel.
than traditional pain medications.
Yeah, this seems familiar.
This triple starting in as little as 5
We probably
minutes.
did. That's fine.
Call your doctor right away if your mood worsens.
Oh.
You have unusual changes in mood or
I
behavior,
like
or
this
thoughts of suicide.
Oh,
is not
I
approved
love the
for
beach.
children under 18. Do not
This is your
take
doctor when you
Panadol
call
if
him.
you are taking MAO
Money!
or iridazine. Do not drive or operate machinery until
My
you know
doctor
how
prescribes
Panadol
me
affects you.
antidepressants.
Call your doctor right away if you experience arrhythmia or shortness of breath, as
So
they may
glad
be
you
a sign
asked.
of a rare but serious side effect. Common side effects include dry mouth, nausea, insomnia, drowsiness, and hallucinations.
You notice all the
Are
effects
you
they
ready
list,
to get back to
as
the
they
life
say,
you
make it the
want
best
to
thing
live?
ever.
Talk to your doctor or call 1-800 Panazor to see if Panazor is right for you.
This is a small side effect, you know.
Okay.
Well, thank you for the sponsor, Panazor, for sponsoring this episode. Very kind of you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I have
Ricky,
a bottle here. I'm
did
trying
you
it out
mess-
right now.
Did you mess with the tape?
Let me just... It won't stop.
Ricky, I told
100% of our patients report feeling better. 5 minutes of taking Panazor, you can be the next to experience relief like never before. Acquire a free sample Panazor by calling this number. Don't you want to feel better? Oh.
Wait, Ricky.
Oh.
Was this the right
Holy
tape?
shit!
Oh no!
I think that may have contained the symbiote.
It reminded me of that old movie, The Blob.
Oh yeah. We need to watch this stuff.
I want to watch it.
The stuff.
It's a public domain horror movie. It reminds me of that.
Cool name.
Oh.
Oh!
Stacy's not looking too good.
Stacy, what happened to you, girl?
After my wife passed away, I had trouble functioning normally and sometimes couldn't even get out of bed. Oh my god. Panazor helped alleviate my sad moods.
Tom, what happened?
Oh my god. Recent car
Now
accident.
all I want to do is smoke cigarettes.
Bethany! What happened to you, girl? Uh-oh.
No, I'm actually not ready.
I'll keep my clinical depression.
Oh,
thank you.
okay. Goodbye.
Oh. The cure for everything.
That was wild.
I liked it.
It's been long enough to where that felt new again, I'll be honest.
It looked like a real commercial from like the late 90s, early 2000s. I liked it. I really do like it.
Now for the true horror.
No, we are not watching Christian. No. Pop in the next tape cassette.
Tape from the Dark Side, A Tale of Two Channels.
Ooh.
At Value Mart, we are committed to
Value
bringing
Mart.
you the high...
Oh, never mind.
Uh-oh.
Omega Mart? Ever seen Omega
love...
Mart?
I have not.
I'm trying not to squeal over the editing,
In
but
the
I
meat
really
department,
like it.
USDA choice T-bone steaks.
$2.49 per pound?
$49 a
Holy
pound.
sh...
Damn!
Don't
This
go there.
inflation! Like, you could give me the deals.
From
Get
the
it on.
Action 9 News Studio at Western Park. This is an Action 9 News
I'm
special
Donald Trump.
report.
I'm Donald
Reporting
Trump. Welcome
tonight,
to the 9 o'clock
Jordan
news.
Cosgrove.
Good evening. I am Jordan Cosgrove with an Action 9 News special report out of Western
Think
Park
there's something
this
on the
evening,
camera?
where the sudden appearance of an unidentified
wipe off that
object
little
above the area
it's
just
right
moments
there.
ago has residents concerned for their safety at this hour. Now, eyewitness accounts reported a brief flash of light above Western Park that accompanied a small, brief power surge throughout the area as soon as it happened, with the object becoming visible once the flash of light subsided. Government authorities are currently looking into this developing situation.
Oh.
Authorities of Iowa residency. Okay. I'm just gonna read it out loud.
Alright.
Also advising area residents to avoid
keeps
making
changing
unnecessary
channel?
phone
I'm trying to
calls at
watch
this
TV.
time, in
There's
order
nothing
to
good
keep
on,
phone
Kitty.
lines as
It's just
free
this
as
damn
possible
circle
for
in the sky.
emergency and government usage until further notice. For those of you who are just joining,
Trying to watch Dynasty. Ricky, stop sitting on the remote.
I want to watch the breaking news channel.
surrounding
I
areas
wanna watch
to remain
Dynasty!
indoors until
Is this
further
Dynasty?
notice. Again,
No, this is just the
authorities are
news.
advising residents of Western Park and surrounding communities to remain.
SassMac the TV. Something's happening to it.
No, I think it's
So
illuminating.
we just got a live look at what seems to be the first sign of activity from the object since its initial appearance. Our studio technicians are currently checking.
Damn it!
Extraterrestrial origin.
Park area approximately 5 minutes ago, causing a momentary power surge in the areas immediately surrounding the object. We are currently awaiting an update from authorities.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty creepy.
Change it back. I'm interested. I want to watch the aliens.
Now, hold on, I need to read this.
On
Hey,
further
Kitty!
analysis of the object,
I
they
want to
have
watch the
deemed object
aliens.
to pose no danger to the general
They ain't doing
population.
much, they're just glowing. Yeah, there we go. Civil danger warning, a possible weapon
Stop
system with the
changing
power
the
to inflict
channel!
severe damage has been detected. Okay.
A number of Western Park residents are now congregating outside to get a look at the object that captured.
Alright, no longer reliable sources of information. Seek shelter immediately and do not move until further notice.
Witness to humanity's
There we
first
go.
contact with an extraterrestrial civilization.
Look,
And this
I
will no
just want to
doubt
see
be
what
an
it says.
occasion.
Taking shelter inside of a basement cellar offers the best chance of survival if none are available.
I want to
Okay.
watch the aliens.
Authorities are
Establish a relationship with the human.
Western Park surrounding the areas to see. A weapon system with power to inflict severe damage was confirmed to be on board the objects. Oh god, we need to evacuate.
Studying the cosmos and its
Okay,
many
everybody pack your
splendors
bags,
that all
hurry.
led up to this moment. The significance of this moment will be.
Uh-oh.
While we are not sure what the light exactly is, or what
The fact they have the audacity to keep that smooth jazz track playing while saying, yeah, you need to hide.
No, TV's broken. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh god, more.
Oh no. Goodbye, Earth. That was a good one.
Can I just squee over the editing a little bit? Because, like, this is amazing.
Yo, they need to hire this guy for like a Netflix show.
You know, he should make, like, his own. I know it's gonna sound weird, but, like, I would love to see, like, his, like, a Stranger Things, but in his style. You know what I mean?
Like a
his-
series or something
like
of
a series
a
like
linear
that.
plot. Yeah. I would
Yeah,
love that.
but like in his style with like his own actors and him directing it and everything. Oh, hire this man, Netflix. All right, put in the last tape cassette, please.
Scooby Dooby Doo. I think this is a trailer for the channel. Yo.
This is great.
Oh.
Oh.
Nice. I'm serious. We need to like commission this guy for some like Adult Swim style bumpers for the Brew or some shit.
Yo, I would, or like, I would be down for him to be my editing guru teacher. I would love to learn more of your.
You'll be his
magic editing.
Padawan.
I will be his Padawan to his Skywalker.
You have no clue what I'm talking about.
I know it's Star Wars related, but I just don't know if it was Padawan.
Padawan is the apprentice too. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Fine, I will be the Padawan to his Yoda. Never mind.
Okay, yeah. With that, thank you, Quarks&Rec, for making such delicious content. These amazing tapes. Fucking scary. I know I'm joking over it, but that was genuine. That last one especially.
Yeah,
like
that
droning and zooming in. I'm like, oh god.
To me, it felt like a Netflix show that was about to happen, especially once it's streaming.
I genuinely felt like it was Halloween time, like within that few seconds of watching that.
What are your thoughts about it, Sauce?
Very good job creating that eerie ambience.
Oh yeah. The music too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really immersive.
10 out of 10. Very much recommend. He also created the Minerva Alliance, which is something I think we should watch at some point. I think that'd be fun. Did you want to watch that now, or did you want to say now?
We'll check that out next time.
All right.
I don't know, but they're having a damn party in there. Look at them all. That guy looks like my coworker.
Usually they're like diners and stuff like that are closed at like 5.
They're having a party.
Continue on Merritt Road for half a mile.
Motherfuckers are having a party and they didn't invite us? I am so offended.
I'm stuck in these goddamn woods. The hell am I listening to? Hello?
Everyone's falling for.
Hi.
Hi.
1 calorie just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
This is just great. So I just wasted my time, my resources, everything. How could they? How could they? With me? I don't want to be the female Jason. Oh. Hi, you're back. I did not expect to see you back, much less here. So while you were gone watching our reacts, I ended up auditioning for a Jason role. I thought I would be maybe one of the people that died in the movie, or the heroine. No, I ended up being the damn whore because I wanted an artistic piece of Jason falling in love with a lady Jason. Needless to say, that didn't turn out, and it was supposed to be this sci-fi thriller. It was a mess of a fan fiction that I pieced out as fast as I could. I thought it was gonna be a horror hostess sitting on the couch telling bad jokes with my tits out. That's all I want in life, but no, I got this instead. But If you enjoyed our reaction to
Tapes
Tales of the
from the
Dark Side,
Dark
check them out at
Tapes
Tales of the
from the
Dark
Dark
Side
Side.
at youtube.com. If you want to go and check out the Lays and the Grays and their Twitter, go
Dark
to Tapes
Side
from the Dark
Tapes
Side
at
at twitter.com.
twitter.com, you stupid
Follow them, put
flashbag.
bells and notifications on and everything so you know what's going on in that genre of the analog horror series. Anyway, friends, that wraps up today's show. I hope you had a wonderful and fabulous time. I know I did. Well, for the most part. And I hope that you had fun with our reactions too. Anyway, if you want to keep up with us, hit us up at The Brew at twitter.com, at mm_thebrew at twitter.com. If you want to email us a message at mmthebrew@gmail.com. If you want to send us a voice message, hit us up on our SpeakPipe at www.speakpipe.com/thebrew. Send us a voice message and it will be played here on The Brew live. We look forward to hearing from you and all your messages. Anyway, guys, that wraps it up. Hopefully you had fun, and I had fun too. From love, from The Brew, us to you, we send you a kiss. Mwah. Bye.
The crap is this? I have no idea what I'm walking into, but I think... Hello? What the fuck? What the fuck? I have no idea what the hell I just walked on. But I found a road, so guess who's going home?